Yeah.
All right. So the project we're going to create now, not one we've been creating. Part of that is because I don't want to create anything employee related because one of the teams for the OpenShift project is creating an employee management software. So I don't want to give any more tips for creating employee management software. So we're going to be building a social media app for developers. Originally, it was called DevConnect, but again, that was my sample project I used for OpenShift, so I can't use that name again because I already have a project with that name. So can someone give me a creative name for a social media network for developers?
Social media network for developers. Oh man.
Yes, I already have a chat. Let's see what fun it is. Oh, no, never mind. That's just back. They've returning to the computer. So.
Come on, Sergio, you got this.
Oh man. Well, since we can actually just call it Facebook since it dropped the name.
It did.
What about
social media is still called Facebook, unfortunately. It's kind of like Google and Alphabet. So that's what they're doing. Meta is going to be their parent company now.
I remember during my orientation, Arnell was talking about buying like URLs, like website names, and he bought Geeky Likes. Like during the orientation, he just came
Geeky
up with
Likes?
it. Yeah, so I think that would be a good name.
All right. Geeky Likes. There we
Right,
go.
so it's where it's like social media for.
Hey, that's actually pretty geeky likes.
We can go with it. Geeky Likes. It sounds so weird though. Geeky Likes. It doesn't roll the tongue that well to me, but it's
It's like WikiLeaks.
That's what I heard first.
Better. Geeky
That's what I
Likes.
heard.
All right, here we go. We're fine. Geeky Likes. That'll be our project name. All right. So we're gonna create a database called Geeky Likes, semicolon. And so
Should
this is the
we
syntax
be
for that.
typing this in?
I recommend it, yes.
Okay.
So you can
someone
have the
open
same
this-
databases.
Okay.
This is the good. This is
Are we
good
able
security
with
practices.
Windows?
All right,
Yeah.
so what did you type to get that started?
I'm
You did
just
sudo.
nope. I just loaded into my SQL database. So
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So you did
Hey,
sudo.
how do you leave?
not sudo. MySQL
database.
-u root -b. So again, I mentioned this to you guys yesterday. I don't know the workspace or the workshop. I mentioned that I highly recommend you guys getting it working on terminal because I'm going to be giving you terminal instructions. This is my
Right.
recommendation yesterday.
I left him at the terminal.
not found.
I think you need to,
But at the same time, if anyone knows how to get to be able to submit SQL queries in your workspace, that's all you need to do. All I'm typing here are SQL queries. So if you're logged in as root on your workspace, there should be a space somewhere in the workspace application to type in SQL queries and run them.
Hey, Cliff.
Yes.
On Windows, when you install it, it says
Mhm.
MySQL.js. How do you leave that the first database that you showed me on the hackathon? I forgot.
Don't know for sure. For me, I just exited and then had you. I think I had you exit and then reconnect to it, didn't I?
No, you had me exit and then I created
Yeah.
another one. But
you-
what's the command to exit the one that's already there?
I don't know how to exit. Now it depends. If you got into it through the terminal, then you just exit and then you do the command I have right here. But again, I don't know exactly how we did it on that day, unless you want to share your screen again, but because I don't know how you got into it in the first place.
I just opened the program and it's already on one.
Yeah, that's the problem. We had that with Matt too. As soon as you exit, it exits out the whole program and it won't let you type in again or enter. We want to enter without connecting to that database. Now, if you're a root, you should still be able to create. No way, you can't create database.
well, for the PC, when the PC installed, you should be able to type in MySQL.sh to run the command prompt to be able to log in -u root -p to log you in, like what you're doing, Cliff.
MySQL.
MySQL.sh and then space, just like what Cliff put in, -u space root -p, and it'll ask you for your root password, and then you should be able to get in and continue what Cliff has been doing, because the rest of it is you're in the command prompt, so you should be able to still do what he's doing.
Okay. root-b. This is unexpected identifier.
That's from the shell, right?
Yeah, I'm working on the shell. Yeah.
I
'Cause
got the same
I
error
just type
message.
that in and I get in.
Cliff, can I show my screen? It's exactly the same that you did for me
Might
on
be 2 seconds. I
on
want to just check
Hackathon.
this quick. Checking the commands that are built into MySQL right now.
I'm in the help menu too, but provides some of the variables built-in shell commands.
Don't want to do this one. That. Try Go. Ooh, try prompt maybe. Try that one. Try prompt and hit enter.
Put something in front of it.
Nope, just prompt enter.
Just prompt is not defined.
You're in
Ref-
MySQL though, right? It says MySQL JS,
Yeah,
My SQL.js, yeah.
and hitting prompt enter does not return you to the default, does it?
no, it doesn't do that for me either.
I'm not saying that in my help though. Let me see if I.
Or if you guys, the problem is you guys are connecting to your SQL through that database. So you're usually connecting to localhost :3306 / the database name. And so you're connecting to the database, not just the server. And that's what we need to make sure it's not doing. You need to just connect to the server. All right, try using that command I did to do go.
Oh, okay, I think I got it.
Oop, I'll let you share.
Obviously.
See if I, no, well, I'm just gonna see if this actually works here. -p. No, that didn't work. There is a, it says MySQL supports for connecting to MySQL server using classic MySQL protocol. Because I'm using SSL right now. It just logged me in that way when I did it through the shell.
All right, we could try this for those of you who are in a database. There is the go command in SQL that says that sends the command to the SQL to the server. You could try this. Go create database test. Try that. For those of you who are stuck in an existing database.
Expected.
Unexpected identifier.
Didn't answer. I figured. I was worried about an error. You can also just try to do no use must be followed by a database.
If you use tilde and then like for root, then I get the arrow. I don't know what the arrow means though. I'm like sitting somewhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
Semicolon. Yeah, it means you hadn't finished a line yet.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
You exit out of it? Did you just do Control C? Oh yeah.
I just added a semicolon or
Control C.
Command C, Control C.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either way does it. Try this. SQL. This.
I got it. I got it. I know how to use it now.
Show it.
Right, Jim.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know how to log in for users, but it does work with the root
Jim,
password
share.
that I use. So I've got a user. I've got a couple users on my server, so that's why.
And you are doing it from the terminal to do it, right? Or the command
Well,
prompt?
no, but I'll show you how to get there.
Cool.
So you go down to MySQL and you run the MS, one of these. This one does the Unicode and this one's just the normal other one that does the Unicode.
Command line
click on
client,
this.
not the shell.
But,
Command line client, not the shell.
well, you click on this and then you get this, the MySQL, and I can type in prompt.
First, you have to enter the password.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well.
Enter your root password, I'm guessing, on the top.
Yeah,
right?
this is the root password. And then you get to this prompt. And then when you type in
Oh
prompt,
yeah, I'm there.
just comes back and replies to that.
Yeah, we didn't need that because we were already where we want to be. You want to be in a MySQL with no database, because if you see MySQL and then something after it, you're in
Yeah.
a database by that name. We don't. want to
Okay,
be in
so
there.
then if you want to do that, then all we have to do is this. Go to my-
Welcome to our SQL monitor.
go here, go up to file location.
No, you're fine.
Here.
That worked. I don't know what you're doing right now.
Yeah, mine worked. I'm at the,
I'm just like going to right. So like right here is in the bin file is where it is.
Yeah, we found that on Matt's.
Yeah, but also right here is where the actual does the login too for the target. So you can actually change it here too, but okay. Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, you're
As
where
long as
we-
people are in the root
right?
MySQL path where you see MySQL with no database name after it, we're good.
Yeah.
Anybody still have a database name after?
Okay, good.
If this works, then try that create database geeky likes database. So try to do create database geeky likes.
Create database geeky likes.
What is that?
It should give you an arrow only.
gave us, yeah.
Yeah, it should. You could get just like normal command prompt. It only tells you if there's an error, not that it was successful.
It didn't come back, no. It came back with the arrow like we were talking about.
Yeah, mine has
before.
an
Don't forget
arrow.
the
yeah.
semicolon. All right, guys, you guys know how code works nowadays. You have to do semicolons.
Is it a Y? L-I-K-E-S? Let's see.
So
I
it's
got it right.
create
Oh, there
database
we
geeky likes semicolon. I can't create mine because it already exists. But you need to create database geeky likes
Okay.
semicolon.
Okay, gotcha. Query, okay, one row affected.
Database
I got one more
exists.
affected. Yep,
Yeah,
you got
so
it.
just like Java, SQL requires semicolons. If you ever go to the end of a line and hit enter, it's gonna you're doing what's called a character turn. The arrow tells you that you're on the same line, that you're
Fine.
on the
Oh,
same
all right.
same command. Sorry, you
Now I
haven't
get it.
finished this command. You haven't completed the command yet.
All right.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. So we have a database. We're
Yes.
now going to also create a user whose only purpose is to access and manage this database. This user cannot access any others. This is a common security system. You should have a root user, yes, it's all there. And you should also have a admin username or user account for each database. No, you should never be using the root user in order to access a database. You can for testing purposes, but again, I want to teach you guys best practices. So next we're going to do is do create user. Just kind of stick with me on this. I'm going to call this
John Wick.
GL user. Oh, John Wick. Don't forget this because you are going to need to remember this in order to log into them as it. At, I'm going to use the % symbol just to represent where we actually, where our current location, so localhost technically. So that's just a shortcut to represent where we are. So identified by, and what this means is identified by the password. Now we're going to give it the password we want.
Hi. Great user. Wick.
Save the dog.
Admin.
John Wick and his dog. Come on.
Save the dog.
Don't touch John Wick's dog.
What does identified by do?
So that sets the password. We identify John Wick through the password is what the concept is. It's just the terminology they used when MySQL was created. And so MySQL follows a similar syntax. And so I don't know why they say password equals. They just say create user John Wick at where we are, so localhost, identified by this password. And so this password is how you identify that when someone's trying to log in as them, that they have the right to access that, be this person. Should make sense. It's weird, but it should make sense, right?
Yes, what it doesn't make sense to me is why the at symbol and the percentage
Yeah.
sign. What is that for?
So I've said that a couple times already. So at just says where we're creating this user, and we're saying create them at where we are. So
Okay.
this is a shortcut by SQL, just to say in the database in the server that we're in. Instead of having to type in the actual host URL again, we can just use % to say, hey, where I am, create this
This
user.
is like equivalent to this.
Shortcut.
And you could say, yeah, you could argue that. It's equal
Yeah.
to saying this. And I'm saying it's more equivalent to saying here or a key.
Yeah, here, but if in code be
So,
just
yeah.
because you're referring
Sergio,
to-
you can look at the percent symbol as just being like aquí.
Aquí. Muy bien.
Yeah.
There you go.
Aquí mismo.
So we're gonna hit enter on that one. We'll say query okay, 0 rows affected. We didn't really affect any rows. We just created something. So we're now going to also give that user credentials. Right now, that user is just an existing user. They have no rights right now. So we can log in as them, but then we can't do anything with them. So technically, though, we wouldn't be able to log in because as soon as we log in, we get denied. So now we're going to need to grant them some access. So we're going to do grant. I'm going to tell them what kind of access. We're actually going to give them all access, but specifically on geeky likes. That'd be fun to say over and over and over again. I'm going to do dot star to say all tables inside of it. So this is the star in SQL is a wildcard. So in MySQL and SQL script, star is a wildcard. So saying grant all privileges on geeky likes dot all tables.
Like when you import.
It's wild card.
Yep, same thing. Yeah, wildcard.
I immediately
Good
went
Java.
to the import.
Yep,
You
good.
kill that.
Good
asterisk.
connection on that. Nice, you guys are getting it. Not that. All right, you say, and so note that we still need to tell them who we're giving these credentials to, right? We're just saying grant all on geeky likes all tables to who, right? We need to tell them who we give this to. Before this, we don't know who we're giving it to. We could be giving it to anybody. Give it
John
to-
Wick.
Yep. John Wick. Where is John Wick again?
Here.
Yep, which is what symbol again?
Uh,
At what though?
at-
What's the
Percent.
symbol for here?
10%.
There we go. Yep.
Do I get credit?
Yes, totally.
All right, good.
Totally, bro.
That's it. So we're going to grant all privileges on the Geeky Likes database, all tables to John Wick at here. Aquí. Sergio's happy. He's enjoying this one.
Aki.
Aquí.
Oh, I almost spelled grant wrong.
Go. So now we have our database. Just to confirm, we'll do show database. Says, sorry. Database says.
Says.
There we go. You get some basic, you get some default databases
Yeah.
built in. You,
Oh,
get,
yeah.
you got your information schema, performance schema, MySQL system.
Cool.
So, but Geeky Likes is the one we care about. We're also going to do show. Users. Dang it. Is that the right syntax actually? I don't think that's going to do it. No, never mind.
All right,
I
yes.
don't want to do that one. Yeah, there's a different thing. It's like a table. So. Good there. Just to confirm that this user actually exists, we're going to exit.
What am I, Daphne?
I got
I think
feedback
I'm
coming from
pretty
someone.
cute, and I don't
Someone
hate
mute
others.
themselves.
I don't want to be a mismatched pair.
David. I'm gonna mute yourself if someone starts talking. All right, we're gonna do a new login. Now, as a user, we're gonna go ahead and log in as John Wick.
Am I supposed to exit
Dog.
this? Yeah,
And you
exit.
see that I'm in.
Oh, man, I hit exit and I exited the whole thing.
I don't know why Windows does that to you.
Ah,
No, I
When you-
shouldn't type exit.
You should. But unfortunately, on Windows, it's gonna close your terminal window as well.
Yeah.
For Mac, it doesn't do that. For Windows, it does. You'll have to reopen the terminal window.
Oh my god.
I don't know though, and now that I think about it though, if I remember correctly though, that start menu item automatically picks root.
Yes.
That's annoying.
I just changed mine so it logs in. I could you just
Yeah.
go and change that short. You could, like
You
I
can
said,
copy
you
the
could
shortcut
go to
too.
the File and log in like you're doing from the command prompt.
Yeah, you can also copy it or right click on it and copy it and make another one to say log
Yeah,
in
that's
as
what I
John
just
Wick.
did now.
How did you came back to the geeky lines?
yeah, this,
Damn, I
downside of
created
using
geeky lines, not a
Windows.
geeky likes. Damn.
What's that?
I created geeky lines, not
Geeky
geeky
lines.
likes.
It's fine
you
as
say,
long as you
are you
remember that.
geeking?
It sounds like a website for like stuff that geeks say.
Yes,
Oh,
right.
geek night.
Honestly, it doesn't really matter too much because we're not going to be using this much anymore. So actually, for the time being, let's not worry about it. I will let people know you probably want to make sure you get the terminal system going on Windows and get it so that you can then access this via the terminal now. It's gonna have the similar performance as what you see here. And again, it's very highly recommended that developers have a familiarity with the Unix terminal. You want to have some familiarity.
Can
with
you
it, so.
full screen that?
What's that?
Can you full screen that or make that thing bigger so I can, yeah.
Use
Yeah, so once I came back in, now I can't show database. So
Show
what's up
database
with that?
says.
Oh,
Railroad.
database changed.
yes. All right, cool.
You know, actually done with this section. We're not going to do anything else here. We're actually going to exit out and we're done with SQL now. So that's it.
What?
At least for the terminal for the moment. We're going to do more SQL later on to teach you some SQL script. For the moment, though, we did everything we need to do right now for the SQL, which is just setting up a database for our next project. That. Back to IntelliJ, and I'm going to create a new project. Again, we're going to get more practice of just setting everything up. Ooh, I don't want to actually do that. Sorry, bad thing. How do we start up new projects in Spring Boot?
You gotta go to the initializer, right?
Yeah, let's go back to our
IO.
I've
initializer.
seen a video on YouTube, someone using the initializer in IntelliJ.
Yeah, again, you need the professional version for that.
Oh,
If you buy IntelliJ, you can get the Spring Initializer integrated to your IntelliJ. But on the community version, doesn't give it.
Hey Cliff, one question. How do you change the initial password that you get on Mac?
Reinstall.
What's that?
For my SQL,
Yeah, when you do the
reinstall my
install, right? And
Yeah.
after it gives you a temporary password and tells you need to change it.
No, I was able to enter my password during the installation process.
No, mine. Well, I have an older Mac, so I had to install an older version of 8. So it gave me a temp password.
That I don't know. I have not dealt with that. I'm actually not aware of that.
All right, I'll figure it out.
All right. Yeah. After class, I can try to help you out a bit. So, for this, Gradle project, Java 256. Our project is going to be com.example of not example com.geeky likes lines, I guess.
Geeky lines.
I already did geeky likes, so I can't change it on use. You have to change it. I have to match my database. And the main application, of course, the main project will be, of course, applicate or app, we'll call it. All right, so I got the
Anything else? Dependencies?
Dependencies, yes, we're gonna do that next. I just want to make sure everybody got this side. I haven't hit generate yet. Yep, we have
It's all
3 dependencies we're
default.
gonna add.
Oh, you're Gradle, right?
Yes, Gradle. Don't forget to use Gradle.
Oh.
You want to use the more modern package manager. So add dependencies. We're going to do our normal Spring Web. Going to add another one. That's going to be the JPA again. And last but not least, instead of H2 this time, I'm going to do MySQL driver. Let me leave that on screen for a little bit for everybody. Wait for a second.
MySQL driver, cool.
Straight to the GPA.
Sure he has the right items. Everybody need more time, or can I generate?
Change it to description to Geeky Likes app.
Sure.
Project for Spring Boot.
I just put dev social media.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
there you go. That's better. Yeah. Dev,
Yeah.
developer, social, network. This app.
There we go.
Generating. Show in Finder. We'll go ahead and, as we did last time, I'm just going to extract that and I'm going to bring that into my idea projects. What do they, how do they call it? Did not extract, it seems like. Why? There it goes. Weird.
And that idea project shortcut on the desktop is the best idea I've had. I don't know why I didn't do it sooner.
What?
I put a shortcut on the desktop for,
yes.
for idea projects.
Good idea.
Mhm.
All right. Tried mine over. Let's go back to IntelliJ now. I need to do this back to the desktop so I can show that. There we go. Back here, idea projects. Oop, I didn't want to do that. Cancel. Don't accidentally double click idea projects. I'll click it once.
Starting Gradle Daemon.
Click on app and open. All right, I'm gonna do
Oh, that's right. I forgot
trust
this.
it.
This takes a bit.
Come on. There it
It's
is.
successful.
Yep, it's gonna start up the day, the daemon. It's gonna start downloading everything from hell. It's all good. Stuff build successful. We take a look. We have everything we see here. We have everything we're looking at. So we have our test stuff we don't care about. We have our Java app application project right here, and then we also have our resources. This is the first time I'm going to look at this. We actually want to take a look at application properties. This is where we're going to tell our system all about our database and how to connect to it and how to utilize it. Where is my other IntelliJ notes? IntelliJ opened twice. Where is it? Did it close it on me? I didn't, but I can't see it. Wait, oh, it did tabs. Do that. Don't care about tabs. I want windows. Thank y'all. My notes need to be on another screen so I can look at them. All right. So I'm here. I'm going to set them I'm going to give JavaScript or Java, sorry, our Java Springboot application the settings it needs in order to connect. I will say some clarifications on this. I don't know if it's a thing with the Mac or with my system or the newer system, but there also are environment variables that we can use to use this. We are going to use those once we upload them, but we're going to use the application.properties in order to utilize them here. For some reason, environment variables, Spring Boot doesn't seem to be noticing my environment variables whenever I run the application. So I need to do more digging into that. What's wrong with my computer is making it not recognize my environment variables, but it's fine. I also want you guys to learn about the application properties file as well. So the first one we need is to do Spring JPA hibernate DDL -auto. So this one is important in the beginning of your application when you first start. What this is going to do is tell JPA how to, in Hibernate, how to connect to the database and how to treat the database. Specifically, its database structure. We have no tables in our database yet, do we? Did we build any tables?
Not yet.
No.
I think so.
We did? Or do we
No, I
build a
said,
database?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear the don't. So yeah, we didn't put any tables in there. And what we can do here is we can tell Spring Boot, or really Hibernate, how to connect to it so that we can have it either leave the database as is or make changes to the database structure. And so there's 4 options that are most common. We have none, the default. So we don't put this setting in here. This is it. What will happen though is that the system will make no changes to the database structure. Meaning if the table doesn't exist, it's going to fail. If our entity has a field that the table doesn't have a column for, it will fail. If our table has a field or has a column that our entity doesn't have a field for, it will fail. So that's the thing to keep in mind. This thing is saying we're going to take the database as is. We're not going to modify it. This can be important later on down the line during like production stuff where you don't want to change the database. And if something is wrong where your entities and your database tables don't match up, you want it to fail because then something's wrong, right? You want to make sure that it's not changing the structure of your database randomly after this project's been open for like a year or 2. So that is a key. This is why you want that to be the default behavior. In the beginning of a project, though, we don't want that. That's not going to help us. We have update. Hibernate changes the database according to the given entity structures. That sounds exactly what we want it to do, right? It will create and update the database tables and structure according to our entities. We have create. It'll create the database every time, but does not drop it on close. So it will create the database every time, but it's not going to drop. So it will be persistent. I haven't fully determined or found the difference between create and update yet. Personally, there's more testing I need to do. But I do know that create actually creates the database every single time, but does not drop it. What I feel like though, what that means, and this is again something I need to test more, is that whenever you reboot the app, you get a brand new database that is clean. When you end the project, it doesn't drop the database, so you could still access the data up till you restart the server. Once you restart your project, it's going to recreate the database and everything will be cleared. That is my understanding of it. The last one we have is create drop. What that means is that every time you boot the project, it'll create a brand new database. And when the application closes, it will drop that database. This can be really useful for testing purposes when you want to have a fresh environment every single time. You want to keep it clean and fresh every single time you start the server. You want to reset it, keep it clean every single time. And this is usually something you would usually use this in conjunction with a tool or a route or something that would pre-populate the data in the system, in the server as well. So you would usually combine these with that. Out of those, the one we're actually going to use is update for now. But those are the four that are there. Yep.
Not create.
No. We want to make sure that whenever we reboot our server, the data stays. We don't want the data to go away whenever we reboot the server. All right. The next one that we care about that needs to be on here no matter what, regardless of environment variables, is the driver class name. So JPA, the main thing I want to make sure is clear about this, JPA can work with multiple different databases. It can work with MySQL, with Postgres, with SQL, so Microsoft SQL. It can work with SQLite. It can also work with NoSQL databases like Mongoose and stuff like that, or Mongo and stuff like that, even Firebase. Things we need to tell JPA where the class is, or the driver class for the database we want to use. And so that's Spring data source driver dash class dash name. Now, the only way to know where this is to pay attention to the documentation of the driver you grabbed. So the dependency. I already pulled this up, so I'm just going to tell you what it is for the one we grabbed. It is tom.mysql DJ, what is it? CJ GDBC driver. That is the driver we want. Yeah, you usually use documentation to find this. I want to save time by just telling you the one from the documentation for you.
What documentation?
From the dependency.
So the driver is like, let's say, like a pointer to which one of that database that you're using.
Yeah, it's also it's kind of like the manual for JPA to know how to interact with that database too. It has a whole bunch of children classes and methods and functions that tell it how to communicate with a MySQL database. So when we tell it to do, so specifically when we get to repositories and you see some of the commands in the repositories, it's going to tell JPA how to do the actions. One action you're going to learn about something called find all. And so when we type in find all, it knows what script to write and how to then send it to the database. That's what this does. So that way find all doesn't care if we're using MySQL or Mongoose or Postgres. The find all method that we use will work with no matter what database we have because the driver will convert that. Kind of like how, especially with you Windows people, or with the Windows users, you have drivers for like your mice and your keyboards and your graphics cards. Same concept. And now for the next three items we're going to put in, these are the ones that have environment variable parallels. And we go to uploads, we're actually going to comment out these next three lines and use the environment variables when we upload. For now, though, we're going to use them for local use. They all start with Spring data source, by the way. And this first one, URL. And guess what that means? This is looking for what we like to call a connection string or connection string URL for the database. So it needs the connection string. So the format for this is going to be JDBC :MySQL. And so this comes with saying using the JDBC protocol, the MySQL protocol URL, localhost, : and then here's an interesting little tidbit of knowledge. MySQL uses a default port number, just so everybody knows. Does anyone know the default port number?
33.
Is it 3306?
Yes. 3306. And then last but not least, we can tell it the database name. And this one, that is our geeky likes. Or in, what is it, Eridan's case, geeky lines. And so that is our connection string. Just like how when you type in HTTP, you're telling your browser that we're going to give you a hypertext protocol, transfer protocol, or hypertext transfer protocol link address. In this case, I'm telling it that I'm going to give it a MySQL address that needs to be utilized by the JDBC system. That's what this is doing.
The URL. All right.
Next one, get another data source item. We're going to give it the username that we want to connect to this database with. What was our database name, our username again?
John Wick.
John Wick. Going to be our database manager. There we go. And the last one, if you had to take a guess, what's the last one is? What would you guess?
Password.
What was that, Keith? Say it again.
Password.
Oh yeah. Password, right? We need to tell them how to get in. So we're going to do save the dog for mine.
Username.
All right. With this here, we should now be ready to at least run the application where it'll at least connect to the database and start up the server. Let's go to our app application and click our green play button so we can create the build configuration for this, or the run configuration, sorry. And there's no routes, so it won't do anything, but at least we'll run and connect to the database. See here, initialize JPA entity manager factory. No issues. We, according to this,
Oh, you're
connected to the
running it.
database.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't hit run.
Sorry.
Run.
Yeah,
Dang it.
everyone should run this once. Make sure it connects. I will bring up those properties again. And again, remember to get that first run process, you go to app application and click the green arrow. That will build the run configuration.
Hold
I've
on.
got an error.
We'll take a look in 1 second. But yeah, everyone else give that a shot. Go ahead, Eridan, show your screen.
Yeah, I got
I got an error also.
Errors as
We'll go
well.
through it.
bam, 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 bam. Errors all over.
Application link. Let's go to application.properties. The application.properties file.
Oh.
Thank you. Why is yours different from mine?
I just.
Oh,
typed
you did
everything
those.
you just
Okay,
said.
that's comments. Got it. Okay.
Spring, date. Spring. Dot driver.
3306, by the way, not 3308. Try again.
Maybe that's it.
That would definitely be it. That would definitely cause a problem. Yes. May not be the only problem, but that would definitely be a problem. Unable to create requested service.
I have that same problem.
That's what I got.
Interesting.
I got a long line.
I got the same thing.
Not what I want to hit.
So if you correct this one, you corrected mine.
Good to know.
Same.
I need
I'm pretty
to
sure I have
get
that one
my-
too.
I need to get back to full screen for a second.
Service
Come back.
exception.
You standard. There we go. Okay, back to normal view. I can see again. Unable to create
Hey, it looks
requested
familiar.
service. Interesting. Can we click on the item? Hold on a second. Yeah,
Is it a
okay.
hotspot thing too?
Yes, please. Can you click on this?
This.
Yep. And scroll up. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going right here. Maybe stop here for a second. No, keep going actually. Stop here for a second. It says access denied. So I want you to double check to make sure that John Wick was the user you created and the password you created and that the right database. So you do got geeky lines.
So,
Good. Scroll up to
John,
the other
create
commands.
user John Wick. Save it.
He likes John Wick.
Oh, that's why. Here,
Oh,
mine is geek lines.
Create
Yes.
the database. So log back into your MySQL and create the geeky likes database. So everyone wants to double check. So that's pretty much where they're probably gonna be similar, but yeah, you're in there. Actually, hold on, you're right there. All right, then quick, go back again. Do from that MySQL terminal right there, hit the up arrow. Again, right there. This one. Nope, up actually, no. Hold on, up one more time. Right there, make that geeky likes. Good, hit enter. Go back up to that grant command and just run that a second time to make sure that it's good now that that database exists. Good.
Okay.
Let's go back to your application properties and change it to geeky likes now. All right, let's play again. That should fix yours. This is a lot of times what the problems is just misspells a lot of times. Started application. You're good. All right. Stop
All
sharing.
right.
Next up. Who's up?
Can I go next?
Go for it.
Okay, sharing. Okay.
Being with data source, define class. All right, let's take a look at your stuff.
I got a beans exception.
Yep. So Spring JPA hibernate TDL-auto. Good. Spring data source dot driver class dot name. Wait, driver class dash name.
Yeah. Oh,
Dash, not dot. All right, rerun. Biggest problem with this kind of stuff here, a lot of it is just gonna be a lot of that. But let's see what else we got. All right, so Spring data source driver class name. We'll double check that one again. com.mysql.cj.jdbc.driver. Good. Spring.datasource.url. That looks fine. JDBC, MySQL, localhost, Geeky Lakes. You have the Geeky Lakes database. Good. Can you scroll? Can you do the up arrow a couple times? I want to make sure the password's right.
here.
Yep, keep going. Yep, go.
Oh, I had exit a couple times, so I don't think it's.
Dang it. All right,
So-
never mind then. It's fine for the moment. Let's go back to your code for a second.
Okay.
Can you click on the one that says for errors right here, this guy?
Mm-hmm.
And let's start scrolling up.
All the
Keep
way
going,
up.
keep going. It's going to be a little bit. I'll tell you when to stop. Stop here for a second.
Oh.
Don't care about that. Keep going up then. Oh, nope, down again. All right, this is where we want to be. So let's just kind of give me a little more space here. Drag that to the left a little more.
What?
Yeah,
This.
this. Yep. Let's scroll up a little bit. Keep going. Scroll up. Stop there for a second. Scroll down a bit. Hold on, actually stop there. Hold on. Where can you name data source script database initialized defining class resource? Scroll to the right.
Scroll to the right.
Yep.
Ooh, can I even
Grab
do
that scroll bar right
yes.
there. Yeah, there it is. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. All the way over, all the way over, all the way over. Oop, too far.
It's a long one, huh?
Yeah, Eric, can you be named with data source defining class? Keep going to the left more.
Oh, left.
I'll go back to the beginning a bit first. So I'll read this message. See what it didn't like. What file, what math panel, what phrase did it not like? Go to the
Okay, hold
right.
on, let me see. Exception cluster error creating bean with name.
Resource, yep. That's fine. That's the initializer that we're doing right here, the data source script database initializer. So the settings we just set, it didn't like them somehow. So go to the right more. Wait, cannot load driver. I just noticed something.
Where?
Click that one.
Right here.
You did select the MySQL driver from the. Can you pull up your browser
This?
for a second? Nope,
The,
browser.
the browser.
Yep, your Spring initializer, please. Not Microsoft. I said MySQL.
Oh Jesus.
Change, so kill it. Add dependency. MySQL.
Oh my God.
That's gonna be a thing. You're gonna need to. So go back to your IntelliJ for a quick second.
I mean, I don't have to like create a new project, right?
Kind of, but before you do anything else, click on that. Copy all this stuff in the app application.
What,
Just
this?
highlight it all. Copy it. Yep. Now close out of this and delete that project and download the new one. So
Couldn't you
I'm
also
gonna let
just
you do
add
that,
the
but everything else should be
dependency?
good.
You could just
And,
add it into the
the
build,
settings.
just copy your build.
Oh yeah.
Well, too late now.
Yeah, it's okay,
It's
but
fine.
you could, yeah.
Oh, I didn't want to get into that right now. So we're already at almost 8:30 as it is. We haven't even started any sort of actual code yet. So because we had so much SQL issue. So don't worry about that right now. We're just gonna have them redo the app. I want them to have everything identical to ours. Everything identical to ours. So all right, so you do that. You should be good then.
Should I?
So paste that in.
Yep. I gotta wait until
Source. You can click on source now.
source.
Go to property. No, not there. Yeah. I don't know why you clicked on Gradle. But,
Yeah, I don't know. The thing went off the.
all right. So main, and then resources, application properties, paste.
Why am I using the drop down?
I don't know. I was just wondering the exact same thing. All right,
Okay.
let's go back to app application and run it.
It seems happy so far.
It is happy.
So it started. You're good to go.
Okay.
Two down. All right, who's next? Who's up?
I'll go next.
All right, Jeremy.
Troubleshooting night.
No, you can go.
Someone share their screen. Whoever shares their screen first wins.
Oh,
All right, it's also saying access denied here.
All right.
I think it's because I never logged in on the SQL.
Shouldn't you don't need to log in as long as it was set up correctly. So let's load up the terminal or your.
Oh,
your
he put
information.
local host instead of the % sign, but I guess that doesn't make a difference.
I don't think it does, but I've also never tested it. I just
Yeah.
always used a percent in SQL, in MySQL. I've never actually typed out localhost because it technically localhost is actually not enough. It should percent also, I believe, stands for HTTP://localhost. It also could even include the 3306. I don't know if it does or not. That's why I don't type localhost. I haven't tested it. So we probably just want to do the, you reconnected, but let's do, we're probably gonna want to do those create commands again. So the create user John Wick at % this time, because I believe that does the whole URL or the whole address, not just localhost. Single quote, yeah, John Wick. Single quote at % symbol, so single quote %, single quote, identified by, right? Yeah, save the dog. Semicolon. Because they already exist. Damn it. So that theoretically should, we'll keep it like that though, but let's do grant all. Geeky line star. I don't know if this will work though. Geeky likes right.
How Geeky lines stuck?
2 John Wick at %. We might also just change this to be like John _Wick just to test, but let's start with this semicolon and enter. Yeah, it doesn't like that because John Wick is currently already there. There's probably, is it delete user or drop user? I don't remember, but let's do a create user John _Wick. So up. Oh, it's gonna be faster, just do the up arrow. And then scroll over to John Wick. You can't click. Think alt move, yeah, _. Enter. You just hit enter. There you go, and then up. Oh, yeah. Airden, what is that?
Listen.
I don't recognize the language. What did I do wrong there? Grant all. What's the command again? Oh, on. Grant all on. Gigi likes. Sorry, I forgot the on. I don't know. Jeremy, good question. All right, enter. There we go. Then just go back to your IntelliJ and just change it to John_Wick. I can't see your IntelliJ, by the way, just so you know. Okay. Oop. I can't see anything now.
Sharon. Just kidding.
Mike, did it work?
I don't know, I'm testing it right
Oh, okay. We can't see, so it's all on you. So. That looks promising. Nope.
Same thing.
But no, that's not an access denied. So let's go back to the application.main statement there and scroll up. See what it didn't like. No, it was access. Right here for a second. Nope, keep going. All right. Access denied. Using password no. Wait, it should be.
This is weird.
Oh, I see it. Oh, God damn it.
Oh,
Yelp. You probably can use
Man.
John Wick without the underscore now.
I feel like as soon as you see that logo there, it's fine.
Nope, that logo pops up
No.
no matter what.
Oh, really?
once
Oh,
it
yeah.
gets past this line right here.
It's Zaxxer. Yeah, the Zaxxer
Yeah,
hybrid
there you
dialect
go.
stuff. Yep, there it goes. That looks promising now.
Awesome. Thank you.
There we go. I get distracted by the whole localhost crap. You could probably try to do the John normal wick without the underscore, see if that works. But
All right.
all right, whoever's next, share your screen. First person to share this screen gets help
Mike says I can't share.
because Jeremy beat you to it. That's the thing. Only I can override others. So whoever gets it up first gets it.
Is that the right screen?
What dependencies needed? Oh yeah, web,
Where?
JPA, and SQL. Okay.
So URL, it's not URL dot username.
Oh no, see, he's got a similar problem on line 5. Take a look at line 5. Note how his data is dots after data source are not lined up. There you go. Try that.
Oh, I think I found my problem.
So I go this one by one because eventually a lot of people, some people may have the same problem and they'll pick their own sometimes, but not always
Wow.
guaranteed.
Okay,
You're good.
well,
Yep.
thanks.
Done. All right. Stop sharing. Who's next? Share your screen.
Wait, mine might be working.
Everyone needs to download a spell check plugin. Fixes 80% of errors.
I guess it's working.
Did it say started?
It just started sitting there, right?
Good. Yeah. It just says started. We're good. We have no routes to test. As long
I
as it
had
doesn't
put
have an
in
error message, we're
data
good.
data source dot URL dot username. That's why.
That would do it. Yep.
And it was weird. It was bringing up my. It was saying Keith. This is the username.
Interesting. Oh, because yeah, it didn't see the username, so it defaults to your computer's username.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Last call. Travis, how you doing?
I'm just waiting on, I had dropped, so I missed what
Ah.
the dependencies were. So I think I had the same problem that Sergio had. So
Possibly.
I'm rebuilding right now to see if I can fix it.
Cool.
What was the EMS stuff?
You had the wrong dependencies. That happens.
Yeah, because like I missed what you guys added, so I just added the ones that we had been using. I didn't get the MySQL one. And that's
All good.
why I think I was having issues.
Well, that goes on. I'm gonna build a package. couple packages. And so we're going to follow a model view controller concept. Well, not really view, but model controller. So we got models,
Models.
controllers, and last package, repositories. All right, controllers, models, and repositories. Since this is just going to be an API, there's the Java server, this Java web server will not be providing any sort of front end. It's just going to respond with data. So it's going to accept incoming requests. It's going to send back JSON to whatever the front end is. Later on in the course, we will try to do a crash course on a basic React front end HTML, where we're probably going to spend like a week or maybe 2 on it. All right. I'm trying to go a little slower to give Travis time to see if he gets it working.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Can I just share real quick?
Of course.
Is this
As long as this started and we have the time, the time, we're good.
like, is that what I'm supposed to have?
Scroll down. Want to see the bottom of the server? You want to see what the server is? It says running. Nope, that's an error message. So scroll up.
Okay.
Keep going up. A little more. Keep going right there. So you got access denied.
Access.
So let's take a look at your application properties first. Make sure it actually sees the information we want. So do this stop password. Good
I
dog.
think I know what it is.
What is it?
Do you see that all his like build grade, Gradle, WL is red?
Yeah, that's. I think that has to do with GitHub though.
When I try to copy a new project on another project that already has a GitHub, it would not work. I don't know why.
That
Everything kept red like this, and it would not work. I had to create another folder, and then
can you click
work.
terminal for me? And do git status, please. Oh yes, you put this inside of your cohort 12 Spring Boot folder. The Geeky Likes folder, the Geeky Likes project should be inside of your idea projects. Or at least Spring Boot, Spring Boot, not inside the cohort 12 Spring Boot, because that's an existing project, I believe, right? So you have a nested, you probably have a nested Java project, don't you?
Oh, is that what I have going on?
Probably. Sounds like it. I remember correctly that cohort 12 Spring Boot is my application that you use for OpenShift, isn't it?
Was it?
Probably. Share your desktop.
I don't know.
That's what I called it. Yeah.
I'll move it out then, and we'll try.
Share your screen. Yeah. If you need help to kind of figure it out, but yeah, you can't have a Java project inside of another Java project. It's gonna be all weird.
Okay. 1 sec.
It's gonna clash.
Not sure. I thought I was putting it in a good spot, but I guess not.
As long as it's not in as long as you check the folder and there's no other Java folders, like Java files in there, you're fine. If it's a folder that already has Java files in it, do not put the project in there. So the Spring Boot, the idea project Spring Boot's folder is probably fine. But yeah, that cohort 12 _ Spring Boot, that's the name of the repo I made. So I know that's a project.
All right. I don't know how it ended up in there.
You probably just had it open. All right. Try to do something quick. It's gonna be too difficult though. Gonna build a model. I'm not gonna put any content in it yet. We're just gonna do a developer model. And the model is going to create the developer. So in this, you could, I will say for anybody who feels like it makes more sense to call this the entities folder, you can. This is just common practice that it's because it follows something called a model view controller pattern. So that's why you see the term model in controller more often. But I have seen this called entities before as well. So if you decide to call this package the entities package, that's fine. I'm just going to follow the more common syntax of model. All right.
Cool.
What?
I said cool. Cool.
Oh, cool. I thought you said who. I was like, what? Why who? How's it looking, Travis? All right, cool. So as we know, since developer is a model, it is a class that we want to use to represent data in our database. What is the annotation we need for this?
Entity.
At entity. Yes, this is one of our entities. This is going to store data for us, persistent data. Entity. I'm going to go ahead and start with ID and generated value. Public. Long ID. Good. Simple, straightforward. Name. Public. String.
Is there a reason you're making them public and not private?
Oh, I totally am doing that and I didn't intend to. Thank you. That was a weird habit. Weird little moment there. Not sure why I did that. It was on autopilot for some reason. With that, and we'll also do another one, private. We'll do cohort. Let's do it. We'll go ahead of that. Yeah. Well, we're gonna have one more property actually. Private string language. Primary language really, but what I'm gonna do something different here. Let's do this. List string languages. Have some fun with the data types. There we go. So really just see what you can do with this. So we want to be able to create a collection or a list of languages that a developer can say they use. Sound good?
I still have an error.
All right, we'll switch back over. I feel like that there's a good chance that you still had an error that was original, but at least we got you out of that project.
Yes.
Back to the properties for a second, application properties again. I do want to check those items again. So you got spring.datasource.driver-class-name. We have spring.datasource.url, kiki likes, localhost 3306. See MySQL, localhost, data source username, data source password. Do you still have the terminal open for your MySQL?
Not from originally, but it got closed.
Yeah,
Everything on my system got closed.
Unfortunately, I don't know if you actually typed everything in correctly, like
Yeah.
good dog or not.
I'm like 90% on that though, but I guess.
Let's look at these three again. So let's check on this guy quick. Click on this one. Double click. Sorry. Oh, no, never mind. I got it.
Am I just skipping?
Yeah, not that one. Nope. Next one. And then the first one again. Yeah, these really helped. Let's scroll up. I'm fairly confident I'm going to see the access denied message. Keep going. There it is. Yep, access denied. Using password yes, so it does see that it wanted the password.
You could try using root just to see if root works, because if root works.
True. So you could do username root and then enter the root password under password. So you could try that.
Oh, right there. So
Yeah,
change that
that'll-
in here.
Yep, change that to root and then the password to the root password that you set when you installed MySQL. Nobody hack them. No.
Oh, it's bad dog? Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's run it.
All right, and try running
I'm
that.
starting to think you might have a dog named Jasper in your house. Or at
Yeah,
least you
that's my
had.
dog. No, he's
Just a hunch.
that's still my dog.
Still not a
It's
dog.
working.
What?
It's working.
What gave
Yeah,
it away?
it does
The
like that.
13?
So.
Yeah.
So
All right,
it
so that
definitely
worked.
so it is the username and password that is wrong.
All right,
so let's
so
go back to MySQL.
Okay. I was gonna say I can.
I'm gonna recreate that user now. So let's do create user.
Okay.
Nope. I didn't say do that. Don't you jump the gun on me. Don't you jump the gun.
Sorry,
All
I
right.
didn't know what I was doing.
Now we're gonna give the user name. So we're gonna do space. Remember how we did that? And then single quote, username.
Yep.
So Jasper again, if you want to do that one. Single quote.
Oh, that's not so
So
cool.
jump the gun again. At.
No, that was just a typo.
Where does Jasper exist?
He exists at the percent sign.
Aquí, yes.
Donde
Space.
aquí?
Identified by.
Identified by.
That's what you want to type.
Oh yeah.
And then space, another single quote, and then the password you wanted, which I think was bad dog or something.
Good boy.
Good boy. There we go.
Good
dog. There we go. All right.
All right.
Now we can do this. Now we can put the semicolon and hit enter.
Thank you.
All right. That's happy. Now we're going to do grant all on. Geeky likes dot star database and then the wildcard.
Star. Database.
No, that's the database and then the tables. We're good there. Grant all on that. 2. And then who are we giving it to?
Oh,
Get
wait.
the single
Do I
quotes.
need quotes?
Yep.
It has to be single quotes too, not double.
I've never tested a double. I'm just
gonna say, 'cause I
SQL
might have-
syntax, yeah.
I might have used double if that was an issue.
I don't know. I just know that SQL prefers the single quotes. So and then where is Jasper again?
Percent, so single quote.
And then semicolon. That's it.
Enter.
Oh. Okay, now I can run the project. Then we can switch so go back to your over here and switch the username and password to those two that you just created. So, good dog. And Jasper. Geeky likes. Just to confirm that Geeky likes on line 3, that L is small, right?
Okay.
It's weird from here. That's a small
Yeah,
L?
right
Yeah,
here.
it's a small L.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
All right. My screen for some reason is showing your screen really, really tiny for some reason. I don't know why. Annoying.
There you go.
It's happy.
Go.
All right.
Awesome. All right. Thank you.
Cool. All right. End screen. Jesus. SQL is a pain.
I feel like we've gone through stuff like this before, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, set it up VS Code back like.
Oh wow, yeah. All right. So now we're so to save some time, we're going to take advantage of a lot of generation systems. So we're going to do right click, generate. We can do the constructor. And select all but ID. So I'm not going to select the ID. We're going to select all the others. Click OK. We're also going to do the default constructor. Now we're also going to do another right click, generate the getters and setters for everything. All right. For this one, though, I'm also going to add in a public void add language. This is one I want to have myself later on. Whether or not we need it, I don't know, but sometimes I do like having this in case I want to do it. This is one I like to have. that's all we're gonna have for this. Good. So yeah, that should be nice and quick. So we're using all the generators. So we're just gonna generate the constructor with the everything but the ID. We're gonna create the default constructor, which is empty. And then you're gonna do another generate getters and setters and select all your properties. And I just added in a add language, so I can add a single one without having to re-add the same array. Sorry, list.
Get us a status for everything except the ID, correct?
Mhm. Yep.
Okay.
Next up, we're going to create a very simple and quick repository. It's not going to have anything in it yet, but later on we might add stuff to repositories later. Because this one's going to be pretty simple. We're not going to have anything really fancy in here. We're just going to do interface, developer, repository. And this is going to extend a CRUD repository.
So I've got a question about that.
Yeah, sure.
I've never seen that before. I've only seen JPA repository. I've never seen the CRUD repository before. Is there a difference?
Yeah, just it changes how many different methods or what methods you have available.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
actually thinking it might be better just to use the JPA one though, because I think the JPA actually has more built-in methods.
Because I've never seen the CRUD. So the CRUD just basically just has what the CRUD what we want to use in CRUD.
Yeah, I think you would use that one if you're trying to, if you have a simple object or a simple item, it's gonna have simple routes where you're just gonna have the standard CRUD items.
Oh,
The
okay.
JPA repository is gonna have a lot more built-in methods. So we're gonna use the JPA repository. It's fine. We'll use that one. So there we go, JPA repository. I just wanted to show that there's other repositories that, and again, what they do is it changes what sort of built-in capabilities are available for that table.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that they had CRUD or like those.
Yep.
That's really cool.
All right, we have that. That's all we're gonna do here. Later on, we are gonna add some things here because we can add some additional methods for finding and editing records in the table that are not part of the default items. So we'll come back here later on to kind of play with that a bit more. Anyways, controllers. I'm gonna create a new controller now. Developer controller. What's the annotation this one needs?
Extend.
Not extend, I said annotation.
Oh,
Entity.
Rest
No.
controller.
That's controller.
Right, we already had an entity, Elaine. This is the controller, right?
I wasn't here for that.
REST controller. I was going to add a request mapping. And a common item for APIs is to start it off with API / and then the entity name pluralized. So API / developers. The common default sort of syntax you want to use. And I did single quotes, not double quotes. So I'll correct that, because otherwise I put a character in there and I can't have multiple characters in a character. Anyway, all right, we have that. Next thing we need to do is bring in the repository itself, and we're actually going to use something called AutoWire. This is going to simplify our system by not having to build a constructor that accepts it. This will automatically wire it up, and later on, this is going to benefit us later on when we want to add in the one-to-many and many-to-many sort of connections. It'll make sure that those things are wired up as well. Auto-wired, and we're just going to do developer repository. Private, sorry. I like calling this developers, honestly. I'm just gonna do that. That's fine. Nothing Nothing too crazy yet so far. Let's do our get all. I'm going to do something a little bit different here. So first off, public, I want to introduce you to another annotation now. So now we're going to start getting more fancy with stuff. So we have databases now, persistent data, which means there's also a chance that we might not have anything. We might get bad requests. We want to be able to have the potential to be able to send back different status codes, right? So now adding for every single one of these, we're going to add something called response body. Every single one we have now. At the moment, I feel like I'm probably going to return like an array or a list of developers, right? So I can start by saying, you know, I'm going to return developer. We'll just say an array for them because I don't know yet what I'm actually going to get from the repository, do I? I'm assuming I'm going to get a list of developers, but I don't actually know yet. I'm going to do that. Get developers. And let's do repository or developers, sorry. Maybe I should call it the repository. Because I want you guys to get used to that term. Yeah, you know what?
Yeah, usually call it repository.
I'm going to call it repository because I want you guys to get used to that term. So let's switch it now. So repository dot, and let's take a look at what we have here. We have equals, hashcode, count, toString, delete all by iteratable entities, delete all by ID. Look at all these items we have here. Exists by ID. We have these nice find all, sort, example, pageable, flush, find one, save all, get class, notify, wait. We have a bunch of these methods that sound kind of useful, right? And I think the one we want right now is this find all, right? Oh, and it returns a list. Let's try returning it. So we get a list. So we need to change that. We don't want to do developer then. We want to do list. A list of developers, I'm going to assume, right? Just saying here, unchecked assignment to list. Make developers return Java util list. Didn't I do that? Thought I did. Oh, I didn't specify the data type. Okay, that's why. This is fine. However, there's again a better way of doing this. You can see again, it's going to yell us again. So I'm actually going to give you guys the correct way you want to do this. Actually, we're going to return something called an iteratable of developers. Right. Why is that? Oh man, I think in my notes I still use the CRUD repository, and the CRUD repository turns an iteratable. That's why it's upset with me, isn't it?
Iterable.
Iterable. Yeah.
Iterable. Okay. This is kind of, well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
a confusing word.
It is. Right. Okay, that's why I'm getting confused because my notes, I use the CRUD repository and now I'm using the JPA repository, which returns a list.
Blame it on Jim then.
They want this one.
List of developers.
No, not that. What's it upset about, huh? We're on a user parameterized list. And so doesn't tell us what they want me to do about it.
It looks like it's happy.
Kind of, but
Yeah, I
like
think
happy,
it'll
but not
still work.
happy. What's that?
I think it'll still work.
It will, it definitely is not excited about it. It's like, I don't like you using the thing list.
Raw use.
I don't understand why it's yelling at you.
It's not really yelling at us, it's more of a warning. It's like, this isn't really good because you're using a raw item and it doesn't like that.
Do we want to
It's
use a
slightly
use
yelling
an
at
array
you in a
list?
whisper.
Yeah.
List?
Saying that it's not really a
So-
good way of doing it.
So a weak warning.
Yeah, it's just a warning, but it's annoying to have that highlight there. But whatever, it's fine.
It is.
I wish I knew what kind of a list it returns, though. That's what I want to do, because then I could just do array list. Developer, if I knew that's what it was returning.
I
and
did
import
normal
that.
list and it seemed to not say anything about it.
Just says list. Great. Fine, whatever. I don't know why mine wants me to make it. It doesn't like the fact that I'm using a raw a raw use of parameterized class. Whatever. You know what? Screw it. I don't care.
As long as it runs.
Yep. So look how easy that one is. Which that one's not a big difference between what you did last time. We did just return the list we had. It's nice that is. Let's take a look at one that does come up simpler though. So at our post mapping. Body. We're going to return a developer, the new one that we create, the new version of it. We're going to add developer. Or we can use the CRUD term, we use create developer actually. What was the annotation for the post? Where do we get the data here?
The request body.
Request body. Yeah.
There it is. Yep.
I was like
Request
thinking.
body.
Response
Developer.
request.
All we're going to do here is do return. Repository dot save
New developer.
new developer.
It's angry.
It's gonna be because I need to do this instead. New developer. This is the way I did it. Yeah, I figured we're gonna be upset about it. Save. It's not a. It's not casted correctly, so we're gonna do that instead, and then we're just gonna return new. Still doesn't like it, huh? Is that the typecast? I
Yeah,
have to
but a
typecast.
semicolon.
No, I can do this instead. I just have to typecast it. Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna test something.
Try to generify developer controller.java. What the heck?
How long do you do that, really?
Generify.
What does gentrify mean?
I'm
Generify.
trying to turn it into a Jennifer item.
Oh, generify. I thought it said
Yeah.
gentrify.
I mean,
really
you know, I
confused.
wouldn't be surprised if there's like a.
I'm starting to like my CRUD one better now.
I guess that's why I always had some problems doing the JPA repository. I guess that's why I kind of like
Yeah,
got.
we're gonna try this quick. No, we're going back to CRUD just for a second. I want to show people what I did. That's what my notes are like, and I like that one better. So this one now. Find all. Note how it returns something called an iterable. So it's an iteratable item. So it doesn't matter. It's not going to clarify what specific type it is. It's going to be an iteratable with the developer item inside. Right.
Okay, so hold up. I'm gonna do this as well. What?
Why are you not upset with me?
CRUD.
So my notes, it's perfectly fine with this. Iterable. Developer. Other project, it's happening. Hello? Oh, my headphones died for a second. Hold on. Trying to figure out why my This is interesting. The one I did to test this, it's happy with this code. Here, you know, I'll even show it. Just to prove a point. It's perfectly happy with this. No information, no highlights anywhere. Only highlight here is that it wants this to be final. So, very curious. That's why my notes, my practice one, it's happy. Yet for this one, it is not.
Different version.
Oh, because I'm being dumb on both, actually. I know what I did. The whole thing is my fault. No one caught
Oh,
me on
I
this.
see.
I didn't clarify the type of the repository, what the data was. So it didn't know what the data types was
Capital
using. It was using non-specific data types because I didn't clarify the data types. I am horrible. Like this should be working fine on both. I don't know why these two are having issues. Okay, now we're gonna be fine.
So what was it? Developer long?
Yeah, sorry. Yep.
Rough night.
Yeah.
The
Developer long, yes. Oy, my brain is not happy with me today. All right, so let's undo that again. This is back to AutoWire. Good.
You got a star on the fog.
Final now. Getting there yet. I'm just fixing those up. So let's do this quick and do all and see. Yep, now this returns a specific list called developer. Nice. All right. This one now is going to return a developer. As you can see here, if I go and do save, we see it says save S entity, and it's going to return an S. So this is a placeholder for the data type. So it's going to save a data type S and return the S since we created the repository to be a long. And so that's what that is. Sorry, developer. So that's going to save, it's going to take a developer and it's going to return a developer, the new object. Let's see if these two work nice and easily. Jesus Christ. Finally.
West.
Not inspiring a lot of confidence over here.
This is just not my day, apparently.
Did it work? I don't think it did.
Didn't work for some reason. Why? Oh, stupid thing. It doesn't like lists in the entity. It has to be an array. Oh, probably has to be an array. Right? No, MySQL can't do that. That's right. Sorry.
Thank you for that information. That's why it wasn't working. Like my project on OpenShift, it wasn't working because I was using lists.
Yeah, it doesn't. MySQL doesn't care for lists. MySQL has. I think it can do arrays. If I'm right. Can't do. Yeah, lists aren't mappable. And then, yeah, that doesn't work. So we can't do that. Yep, there it goes. Yeah, forgot. Yeah, Postgres could handle a list, I believe, and Mongo, I think, can handle a list. But yeah, no, MySQL can't. MySQL only has arrays. So, there we go. Full, that's happy. Let's go see it run. So, Postman, our superhero. Who just popped in? That was Lane, maybe? I don't know. Someone just popped back in. Host 8080 / API / developers. So we got our empty array. Switch to post. Body, raw, and JSON. Who's joining our social network? Self-referring, so self-adding only this time.
Me.
All right.
So
You actually said yourself, Jim. We'll say you guys are all in 12 right now, so everybody's B12. It's fine. And then we'll do languages. I spelled that right.
Yeah.
We'll do, let's see, we'll do JS, Java, we'll add C#, because I know you've done that with us. So we'll do those for now. There's more, I'm sure, but yeah, we'll start with
Yeah,
those.
those are good.
Those are good starting points. We'll send that in and take a look what we get back. Valid object with an ID number of 1, automatically generated. Let's add someone else. Who else is jumping in? Don't all you jump in at once.
I will.
Thanks, Travis. Well, do JS, we'll do Java, and what else do you want to add? Anything else? No any HTML at all?
Oh, yeah,
All right, we can add
HTML.
then.
sure.
Even
Very
though
tiny bit of
it's
C.
not really, even though people will argue that it's not a language, because it really technically isn't, because there's no logic behind it. I don't care. We're just putting that in just to fill up more information. There we go. We go back to get now and hit send. There we go. I'll do one more quick for you guys just to finish it up for the night, and then we'll let you guys rebuild your own so that you can get to this point with your own application. So we'll do the get one.
Could you go to your repository real quick?
Ooh, 1 second. Yes, I will. Repository is empty pretty much. Except for, yeah, developer long. I added that. That I forgot. You might have missed that. I was dumb and forgot to add something so simple. Sometimes even as a teacher, you can get overconfident in yourself and be like, I totally typed that in. Don't check your notes and then don't realize you forgot something. I don't need to check the notes for this. This is the easy part of it.
He is
One line.
human.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not actually a robot. Sorry.
No. Check the code. Something's wrong in the code.
Transhumanism. That's coming.
There you go. All good?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Thanks.
no problem. Fix that. I put the wrong curly bracket there. Okay. Or get one. So public response body. Developer. Get one. Add variable. ID. Repository dot find by ID. Or else, and then, so what do I want to do here though? So find by ID. Is there a chance though that someone might give us an ID that doesn't exist?
Yeah.
Why is this upset with me?
You're using the wrong curly,
Optional.
wrong.
Right.
Oops. Sorry.
So right now, because of how I'm doing this, this is going to return an optional because it might not find it. One thing I do, of course, is put this above, but one thing we can also do is do a or else throw. We want to throw a message. We want to throw an error on it technically. So we're going to say, nope, that doesn't exist. This, we don't have this one. Where my notes go? Come back notes. There they are. So in this case, there's a chance that we might not find what we're looking for, right? In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to do that. I'm going to do a lambda. We'll just do new response status exception. We're going to do an exception to the response status. We're going to change our response status. And that is going to be the HTTP status. Hey, take a look at that. Does that sound like a valid one? HTTP status not found. Take a look how it's now happy. It no longer cares that it doesn't need to be optional now because we've handled that. We're going to return the result of the find by ID, or if we don't find anything, if that results in nothing, we're going to throw a new status exception, HTTP status not found. Since we throw, which means we're going to throw an exception, that gets sent out of this method. This method will then throw instead of resolving. It's not going to resolve and not going to finish and not going to hit that return statement. Instead, it's going to exit through throwing an exception up to the caller, which again is Spring Boot. And Spring Boot will then handle this. And Spring Boot then knows, hey, to handle and do a response status exception, returning the 404 not found. Not that bad to be able to do that, huh?
Response status.
That was super cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Cliff,
Let's see
you
it
just
work.
put double quotes on line 30.
Yeah,
it's
that
not
was
yelling
what I
at you.
was trying.
God dang it, that's right. It's still red.
Response status except. Why is it
Yo.
like angry at me though? It's HTTP status now found. It's angry at me for some reason.
Did it not import?
Hold on.
We can show your screen for a second if we need to, but
Yeah, I mean,
go for it.
I have two issues going on
This
right
is
now.
the
I'll
last
show-
thing. As soon as this works, it'll be good. So,
Why is this? It's probably something.
you're missing an extra parenthesis. So inside of Oryx throw, there was a parenthesis inside too. So in there, opening parenthesis.
Opening.
Yep.
Oh.
Nope. Yep. And then delete one of those because you have one too many. The closing ones. Then at the end, all the way before the semicolon, add another.
Oh, I see. Because you're putting it inside the
Yes,
or
it's
else
inside
throw
the
it.
or else throw. Yep.
And then this. Okay, and then another thing is, let me stop and rerun this.
Still upset about something though. You forgot a return statement.
It
Where's your
is.
return statement, by the way? Nope, not there. There you go. Remember, the repository.find by ID will find us our developer, or it's going to throw the exception. There you go. So you run that. I'm
yeah,
running
but,
mine.
Hold
I'm
on.
going to
because-
reboot mine. And I'm going to share my screen.
Well, hold on. Why is it not letting me get it?
It's getting all because you haven't done the slash number. Oh wait, not found. Wait, hold on.
It's screen so small. This is
That's
it, this is
saying
where I
the
wanna be, right?
method is not available. Go back to your item, your
Right here?
code. No, your code, and show me the request mapping at the top, please.
Self-developers, Ron.
Yep. Developers.
Jesus
are
Christ.
Freddie's starting to sound valid about us needing a spell checker, apparently.
All right.
Several of our errors today have all been just bad spelling. I think we all
Alright.
need. I think we all are going to benefit from not having to do class tomorrow.
Everybody get
Alright,
the
so-
dictionaries out and I expect you to study it tonight.
Let's make sure this works. So again, we just rebooted our server, right? I'm going to hit it again, just make sure everybody sees that. I rebooted my server, so it's starting up again. In our previous applications, what would that do?
Throw away all the data.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lose everything.
We're using a database now, right? So if we think about it, if we're using a database and we use the update command, take a look.
Oh, look at
Our
there it
data is now persistent.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
My
Let's go
open
ahead and-
shift wheels are turning.
We're gonna go ahead and add a user. So we're gonna go ahead and look up a specific user. So user 2, we're gonna look up Travis. There he is. Now I'm gonna try to look up a developer that doesn't exist. 28,934. You can put whatever number you want. I'm gonna hit enter and take a look what I get here. Status 404 not found, and even in the actual request system itself, it got back to 404, not the 200 blank like we used to get in our previous application. This is the power of a JPA repository. It has a lot of built-in functionality, and how much SQL have we actually written so far?
Very little.
And for our JavaScript for the Java project, none. Right? We wrote we only wrote some stuff for ourselves to utilize a unique database. So for Java, though, we haven't written a single line of SQL in our project yet. And that's what the JPA repository is giving us power over. SQL or database functionality without database scripting. Not to say that we can't do that. And again, as we get farther and make this a little more complicated, you'll see how we can add some custom SQL scripting to this if we need to. So for you guys' homework for Thursday, so you have 2 days for that. And again, the hour at the start of class, you're going to go ahead and make a new project again. Now with these 3 dependencies, and I want you to create a new database. So try to remember those steps you did today. You'll have the video. We'll try to get it up as soon as we can. Follow the instructions. So create a database and create a new user. So you want a new database with a new user because each user should only have access to that one database. New database, new user. Create a new project. And this one, do you want to keep doing with the car rental? Do you want to go back to Felicia's fruit stand?
Oh God.
Car rental.
Car rental?
Car rentals.
All right, so go back. We're going to recreate. So even though I know you guys just create a car rental application, you're going to recreate now with the JP repository instead. So you can use your existing one as reference, but you are recreating it again. We want that repetition now. All right, repetition is key. So you're going to recreate your application now with the new dependencies and the JPA system and the database. Your challenge is to create just these 3 routes for your 2 entities. You're going to create your car entity and your customer entity. In your car, try to create at least 3 fields other than ID. Same with your customer. Try to create 3 fields other than ID. Play around with it again, but again, you can also keep it simple. Just get it working first, and you can be more creative if you get it working. Honestly, you can start with 2 fields or 1 field just to get it working, but then add a couple more just to see what works, see how it works.
Okay, your developer class real quick. The last method that you added that we made.
No homework if we already did it.
Okay, hold on. Give me a second.
Technically, yes, I guess. I just changed it to string arrays. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. The string. Yeah, because
I had to get rid of that add one because you can't add to an array.
Gotcha. Okay. I was like wondering why. How are we adding again? I
I'm
heard
getting
that
error
MySQL can't do
415.
What?
I'm getting error 415.
All right, 1 second on that. Let me finish giving the assignment, then we'll check on that. But yeah, so 2 entities. When you're finished, 3 fields each other than ID. And then the 3 routes we have right now, the get one, get all, and create new. Those are the only routes you need right now. We'll do the others Thursday.
create new entity, 3 fields each,
Mhm.
and then
Good
new
use.
new database, right?
New database, meaning which means a new user, because your current user you have can only access the one database they're on. Now, if you want to be fancy, I guess, yes, you could give that user access to the second database if you wanted to, but I want you to get that practice of creating a database and creating a unique user. Because if the idea here is that if you have multiple applications, multiple projects, multiple databases, and a microservice architecture, if one of those user accounts gets, if a database's user account, someone gets into that database and they get access to that user, they only have access to that one table, and it can minimize or mitigate some of the damage you can cause because they only have access to that one table, that one database, not to all your databases. So you want those limited users. Sound good? And I'm just teaching you some minor security items as well. What are called good common good practices. That's my goal. All right. Like you've seen before, you could just use the root user and do it all yourself, but that's not teaching you good practices. I'm trying to give you guys nice additional little like key points you can use in your interviews to talk about, knowing the idea of creating users and not using root, not mentioning you use root, showing on this system that you aren't using root and stuff like that. So that's key. Sound good?
So I have to go to the
Awesome.
just last thing, just so I can have this
Yeah.
100% clear. We have to go to the command shell prompt, and then there we created John Wick and his dog, right? So we need to create
Yep.
another one.
Yep.
And then add him through the application properties to the
We
the
can create
existing
Wick
pro-
John who cares about his cat.
And then
Are you gonna
we have
do
to just
class
add him.
assignment?
I'm going
I'm
to create
sorry.
the class assignment, yes. So I will make an
Okay.
assignment in the classroom, yes, and it'll have the details what you're building.
Okay.
So, yep. And again, so you'll have tomorrow to work on this, and you'll also have the first hour of Thursday to work on this.
Thursdays.
Yeah.
I'm working that day, but I'm gonna see what I can do.
Well, again, you have tomorrow too, so don't worry.
No, but I may
I'm
not be
gonna
able
do
to
the
attend.
homework. Yeah,
I
do
may
the
not.
homework.
I may not be able to attend Thursday's class, but I will fight for it.
No worries. All right. So, who had the error message and who wants to share this?
I did.
Go for it. Share the screen.
He got the I'm a teapot error message.
So
Right
it
there.
says 416 unsupported media type.
Yeah.
Because you didn't change your text to JSON. You're sending text data. to your
Oh
server.
shit.
Not
No,
JavaScript.
JavaScript.
No JavaScript. No, there's a,
Your
There
server
you
is
go.
gonna only accept JSON. It doesn't accept text.
there you go. Okay.
There it is.
All right.
Goddamn
Thank you.
Jason and Felicia.
These are all, it's just again, so anyone is like, Cliff just knows everything. I've done this before. So that's the only reason why I knew what he did. As soon as I saw that, I was like, I know what that is. I've done that before. So
You're still
a lot of
recording.
times,
That
That's-
that sounds
yeah.
like most of the developer stuff.
Yeah.
Like we see something wrong. Oh, I already did that. Just like I told Travis the thing.
So that's why I keep telling you guys once in a while, like do an error on purpose. Like you know how something's supposed to be written. Sometimes write it wrong just to see what error message that causes, so that you're exposed to it. You can see that, so that when you accidentally cause it next time, like, oh, I did this before. I've seen this error message before. I know how I caused it. So I still do that actually. I used to do that a lot more, and I still once in a while do that. If I'm like, oh, I wonder if I do this, what happens? And just to see what happens, and just to see if I one, to see if I'm allowed to do it, because it's like, oh, I can do this. Okay, cool. Another thing I can do added to my tool belt. If it doesn't work, I'm like, oh, I can't do it. But at least now I know that if I get this message, this is one of the ways that can cause that message. So experimentation, playing around with your code, that's going to be one of your best ways to learn. It's going to help you when you have bugs. The more error messages you recognize, the less you'll have to spend troubleshooting, of course. So.
I
With
do
that being
that,
said-
but not on purpose.
I will admit, not every single time is on purpose, of course.
Program.
Yeah.
In constant programs got me to know what error messages and problems are.
Yeah. I won't deny that. Yes, I do have some edge on troubleshooting, because I did have like 8 to 10 years of tech support. So I do have some troubleshooting skills that I've gained from that. So how to look into issues and things not working, how to slowly pick away at it, and be able to make those deductive reasons. Well, if this isn't working and I changed this and nothing changed, then that has nothing to do with the problem.
Yeah, we saw a lot of that tonight, actually.
Yeah, you saw a lot of that tonight. So unfortunately, we didn't get to do the assignment tonight to try out, but that's just, a lot of SQL issues, and we lost like a good 30 to almost 45 minutes through debugging and SQL issues. So
It was time well
Matt,
spent.
give SQL another shot. Let me know if you need to connect tonight or tomorrow to try to help you out some more with it.
I
Give
would
it a
like
shot
to tonight if we could.
Okay. Let me go to the bathroom quick.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Go down and get a drink. And so I'll stay on the I'm gonna go wait for a second. You can stay on the chat and I'll come back when I'm ready. So
Okay.
All right. I will see everybody on Thursday. Good night.
Night, gang.
No, Thursday. Thanks for everything.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
This is still recording, by the way.
Good
Oh.
morning.